Good morning, students. Today I am going to start with the first program of CS1. So these programs are according to the state board syllabus. So you have to write these programs as it is. You cannot add any program apart from that. So these programs are according to the board. So you have to write only that program. So let's start with the first program of CS1, which is based on C++ programming. So the first program is write a program in C++ that initializes an array of given 10 numbers. It means we have to create an array. We have to initialize an array of 10 numbers. The program should sort the numbers in ascending or descending order using bubble sort method. So we have to sort the numbers. Sorting means we have to arrange the numbers either in ascending or descending order by using bubble sort method. We have to use a method of bubble sorting. It should print the given list of numbers as well as the sorted list. So it is also given that it should print the first of all given list of number, what list we give before the sorting, and as well as the list after the sorting. So basically we have to give the numbers, and we have to give the size of the array as a 10. So you can enter 10 numbers and you can also enter less than 10 numbers, but you cannot enter more than 10 numbers. And after that, after the execution of the program will have to sort the numbers in particular order. Now first of all, what is bubble sort? Bubble sort is, we have studied bubble sort in CS1, that bubble sort is an algorithm which is used to sort the numbers. And next is, what is the functioning of bubble sort, how it works. It works in passes and it compares the number in every pass. It compares the first number with the second number, and if first number is greater than the second number, then it will swap both the numbers, because in bubble sort our main task is to move the greater number to the last position and to move the smaller numbers to the first or second at their respective positions. So bubble sort make use of swapping method, in which first of all it compares the two numbers, first and second number, and then second and third number, third and fourth number, and after that if first number is greater than smaller number, then it performs swapping, else there is no need to change. So let's start with this program. First line is hash include iostream.h. Hash is a preprocessor. Include is used to include the files. IO is input output. Students, I have already explained all these things in 11th standard, but some of the students have missed the lecture, and even some of the students are new in 12th standard, so that's why I am explaining all the things. So hash is a preprocessor. Include is used to include the files. Then next is IO stream. IO is input output stream. .h is header file. So the meaning of the very first line is we are going to use input output files, and this line is that we are going to include input output files. So .h is header file. So input output, in case of input files, are used to get the input from the user, for which we use cin statement. Whereas output, for output we use cout statement. Cout statement is used to display the output, and cin statement is used to get the input. Next line is hash include conio.h. Hash again is a preprocessor. Include is used to include the files. Conio is console the files. We have to console the files. .h is header file. Now why we are using conio? Conio actually is a function, and there are so many functions of this file conio, like get ch and clear screen. We most commonly use clear screen function and get ch function. So these two functions are of conio file. If we use getch function or clear screen function and we have not used and we have not include conio file, then it will generate error. So it is mandatory that always write hash include conio.h, because if you have written that hash include conio.h, then you can use anytime clear screen and getch without any error. So conio is for that function. Now clear screen function. Clear screen function is used to clear the previous output on the output screen. So the function is CLRSCR with the function bracket and it ends with semicolon. Next is getch function, GETCH, getch function, then function bracket and it also ends with semicolon. Getch function is used to show you the output on the output screen, because sometimes in Turbo C++ it happens that the screen when you press on compile or when you run the program, it flashes you back to the main screen without showing you the output. So getch function is used to stay on the output screen. So that's why it is always you can say mandatory that you have to use getch function. Now after these two lines, the next is void main. Main is we are going to start the main part of the program from main section. So main is a function, void main, void is a data type. Now start the program with the curly bracket, this curly bracket. Now the function is, first of all we have to declare an array, initialize array whose size is 10, and after that we have to perform sorting on that numbers. So we will see how we have to write the program. So first of all, initialize array. Here we are going to declare array. Int A. Int is the data type, A is the name of the array, and 10 is the size of the array. Integer A 10. So this is the name of the array. Name of the array is A. Integer is the data type. And these are the another variables that we have to use in the program. So we have to declare all these variables I, J, K, T. Students, it is very mandatory and it is necessary that you have to declare the variables if you have to use any of the variable in the program. Because if you use any variable without declaring the variable, then it will generate error. Next is clear screen function. Clear screen function to clear the previous output. It is optional. If you want to use, you can use, otherwise you can skip that. Next is cout statement, enter elements. Now we want to print message on the output screen that enter elements. So that's why we have to use cout statement for that, and you always have to write this statement in the double quotes. Start of double quotes, end of double quotes, and it ends with semicolon. Now you know that when we have to enter elements in the array, for this we have to use for loop. Every time whenever you have to enter elements into the array or when you have to get output from the array, you always have to use for loop, because array provides us facility that we can declare it in a one word, and we can enter as many number in array as you want. So for these numbers we have to use for loop. For so many elements we have to use for loop. So cout statement will print the message on the output screen that enter elements. Now you have to enter elements on the output screen. Enter elements means the elements that you want to sort. So you have to give the list of 10 numbers. So if we have to give the list of 10 numbers, we have to apply for loop for this. So this is for loop. For loop for I is equals to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. It means it will start from the 0 and you can enter up to 10 numbers, and this will increment the value of the I. So by using for loop you can enter 10 numbers, any 10 numbers from index number 0 to 9. It means it will create an array of 10 numbers and you can enter any 10 numbers in the array. Now curly bracket, Now you have to give the value of every element. For example, you want to enter 5, 8, 2, 7, 20, 15. You want to these numbers. So when you have to give the value of these numbers, you can give the value by using input function cin function. So cin function is used to enter the value in the array. A is the name of the array and I means ith element, for which we have used loop, this I loop. So cin a of I and curly bracket close. So students, at this step what we have done is we have just print the message on the output screen that enter elements, and as now we have to enter elements, 10 elements. For this we have to apply the loop to enter the 10 elements. Now we have to give the value of each element. For this we have applied this cin statement. Cin, enter the value of array at ith element. So curly bracket close. So with this we have given 10 numbers. Now we have to print that 10 numbers. For example, we have given 10 numbers, 2, 7, 8, 15, 20, 40, whatever numbers you have given. Now you want to print that numbers on the output screen, because cin used to get the value. And if you have to print that numbers, because in the question it was mentioned that you have to print the numbers before sorting as well as after sorting. So now this for loop is to print the elements on the output screen. So again for loop for 10 numbers, for I is equals to 0, I less than 10 and I plus plus. Now you have to print the numbers. For this you have to use cout statement. Cout, and you want this message as the elements are, the elements means in array whenever we have to print the elements we have to write in this way. Name of the array and I means their values. So cout, in the double quotes you can write any message whatever you want to print, and then after this insertion, or you have to apply insertion and extraction operators with cin and cout, and after this operator you have to write that with the name of the array and variable which you have used in loop. So in loop we have used I variable. So a of I, it will print the ith values of array A. So curly bracket close. So tell this. So tell this line, we have just entered the 10 numbers. We have entered the 10 numbers by using for loop, and after that we have again applied for loop to display the 10 numbers. So this these two loops will display the 10 numbers on your output screen that you want to sort. After that we have print the number on the output screen. Now we have to apply bubble sort on that number so that it must be arranged. So for this we have to apply bubble sort. Now we have to apply bubble sort on 10 numbers. For this we have to apply for loop. Again, as we want to apply bubble sort on 10 numbers, so that's why we again have to apply for loop for these 10 numbers. So now we have to use another variable, because we have used I variable for entering the numbers. Now we are using the k variable to apply bubble sort on 10 numbers. So you can use any variable. So for loop, start for loop, k is equals to 1, k less than 10, k plus plus. Now we have applied this loop for first 10 numbers. You can also enter 6 numbers, 7 numbers or 5 numbers. Now start with the curly bracket. Now we have to apply the mechanism. As you have studied bubble sort, first of all in bubble sort we have to apply 2 conditions. One condition is for pass, that we have to repeat the pass. Now second condition is for inside the pass. Inside the pass we always have to repeat the steps like swapping of 2 numbers. So ultimately we have to perform two things in bubble sort. First step is for passes and second step is for inside the pass we have to compare two numbers. So this loop is for passes. It means we have to perform less than 10 passes. As I have told you in the bubble sort that the number of passes always remain n minus 1. If we have 10 numbers, we have to perform 9 passes. N minus 1, 10 minus 1, 9 passes. So that's why we have applied the condition k is less than 10. Means it will perform 9 passes. It will start from 1 and it will perform total 9 passes. Okay, so this is for pass. Now in the curly bracket, now in the every pass we again have to perform n minus 1 of that pass. If you remember, if we have, for example, if we have 5 numbers, so in that case n is 5. Okay, so if we have to perform bubble sort, we have to apply total 4 passes, n minus 1, that is total 4 passes. So this is for that. Next is, for example, if we are in the pass number 1, in the pass number 1, we have to perform n minus 1 passes. N was 5, 5 minus 1, that is in the pass number 1, we have to perform 4 steps. Whereas in the pass number 2, we have to perform n minus 2. N minus 2 means we have to perform 3 steps. In pass number 3, we have to perform n minus 3, that is 2. So, so on. So, in every pass, we have to perform n minus pass number of that. So, this condition is for every pass. Inside the every pass, we have to perform how many comparison. So, for this, we have used another variable for j is equals to 0. Start from the 0 index value. Now, condition is j is less than 10 minus k. 10 minus k means 10 is the n. N minus k is the pass value. If we are at pass number 1, the condition is 10 minus 1. If we are at pass number 2, the condition will be 10 minus 2. If we are at pass number 3, the condition will be 10 minus 3 and so on. So, and j plus plus. So, students, this loop is for number of passes that we have to apply on the bubble sort, and this condition is for inside the pass how many steps we have to apply. So, this loop is for that. Now, curly bracket, what we have to do in every pass. So we have to compare the jth element with the j plus 1 element. Jth element means the element at the students, if you know the algorithm, I have detailed everything in the algorithm with the example, then it will be so easier for you to understand the program. So j means index number 1, j plus 1 is the element at index number 2, next index of that number. So if a of j is greater than a of j plus 1, a is the name of the array. So if the element at jth number is greater than j plus 1, so what we have to do is we have to swap the numbers, because first number is greater than the second number. We have to move the smaller number to the first location and greater number to the last location. So if a of j is greater than j plus 1, you have to perform swapping. Now how we have to perform swapping is move the jth element to the temporary variable. T is temporary variable. Move the jth element to the temporary variable. Now jth location is empty. Move the j plus 1 element to the jth element. Because j is now empty, in the first step we have move the jth element to the temporary variable and j is now empty. Now move the j plus 1 element to the jth element. Now j plus 1 is empty because we have moved the j plus 1 element to the jth location. Now move the temporary variable into the j plus 1. Temporary means value of aj, and move that value into j plus 1. So with these 3 steps, we can swap the number from one location to another. Whenever we have to swap the numbers, we always have to perform these 3 steps. Because first of all, you have to move one element to the temporary location, then move another element to that location, and then move temporary variable to that second number. Then close these three curly brackets what we have opened, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Close these three curly brackets. So here we have applied the condition of the bubble sort. Now after applying the condition of the bubble sort, we have to print the numbers, print the result. So if we again have to print the result, we have to apply for loop for that. So you want to print message C out on the output screen that the sorted array is this. Whatever message you want to print, you can write here. Now for loop for jth variable, we have applied j loop for to print to apply passes on that. So see, you can check that. See, we have applied jth loop for that to swap the numbers by using jth element, jth variable. So we want to print that value of j loop. So for this you have to apply j loop with the variable whose value you want to print. So apply the for loop with j variable, j0, j less than 10, j plus plus. Now whenever you want to print or you have to print, you have to write the name of the array. Name of the array is A and j is the jth element. C out, endl is used to end the line. You can also skip that if you don't want to write that. Then A is the name of the array and jth element. Curly bracket close. Getch function is used to display the output on the output screen, and then curly bracket close. So this is the end of the program. So with this we have completed the first program. You have to execute that program and you have to check the output and store the output on the desired location. So I hope that program is clear to everyone. So first of all, you have to declare the variables. Then you have to apply for loop to enter the 10 numbers, to give the value of 10 numbers by using cin. Then again for loop to print that numbers. For this you have to use cout, and then for loop to print the first for loop to apply the passes, and then for loop to exchange the elements inside the passes, and then condition. After that again you have to apply the loop to print that elements. So students, that's all for today. With this we have finished the first program of CS1.